Damn.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Aero Sentinel's channel. Today we'll go over the Hatsan Neutron Star overview and first impressions, and this one puts a big smile on my face. This gun is amazing. We'll tell you why. We'll go over it and give you a sort of breakdown and plan for this gun. What we think of it so far, that sort of deal. You'll see a tube here. This is the stock aluminum shroud. The shroud is not, it's more aesthetic. It isn't, it doesn't serve a function. It's more aesthetic, protect the barrel and to keep it looking anorexic, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't really serve a purpose except that it makes it look better. But we replaced it because we coincidentally had a carbon fiber that had the same diameter, but it was longer, so we cut down the carbon fiber that you see here. Okay, and it looks good, but this one we don't know where we got it. It was a different project that I had this laying around as spare for our drone builds that we did in the past. So we had two of them laying around and we thought, oh yeah, let's replace it. The reason why was because this gives it that sound. It's like a tuning fork. It's like the sound carries on. So after you fired it, I mean, you fired a gun and the sound carries on. It's like a tuning fork. And the gun is loud, definitely loud. You need a moderator for it. It's loud. It's not one of those quiet, because like I said, it's not a functional shroud where there's baffles and it minimizes the register of the bark, so to speak. So that's that. But with the carbon fiber tube, with the scope and this stock is 10.1 pounds. The carbon fiber tube doesn't do much reduction. It's only 0.1 pounds difference. So 10.1 with the stock shroud and a scope, and it's 10 pounds with the custom shroud carbon fiber. But you can see the difference. It's not as loud as opposed to this, where it kind of gives you that pinging tuning fork sound, especially after you fired it off. It goes even louder. It's annoying. But it's adjustable cheek piece, which is nice. There's an empty cavity here. If you remove it, you can remove it You can adjust it simply just by loosening these two flatheads right here. And with the spare O-rings, so we don't lose it or mix it up, we put a little bit of Hatsan there so we know while we threw it in the bin. And then after tearing apart the gun, we realized, oh, there's an empty space there. So we bunch this up, put it in there, and that's where it'll stay as a home for the spare parts for it. The trigger is a Quatro Trigger. It's nice, very, very nice trigger. It's better than some of our rifles, and it breaks clean. It was originally breaking at 2.8 pounds, but we don't always adjust. We don't adjust triggers right off the bat because we put it through a breaking cycle, a breaking period, making sure all the components are working harmoniously. You know, breaking period, making sure that all of the shears and components are, you know, finding their spaces or mending their relationship together. That way, you know, we can now see it. And then that might just, all it takes is for you to break in, get used to the trigger, and the trigger mechanism assembly is breaking into. Maybe that's, you at the end when the break-in period is done, you might like, oh, it's smooth, it's nice. So over time it'll come smoother. Originally the gun did, when we cock it, we noticed that it was something like there was a bit of restriction, but we didn't know until later. But after approximately 197, so 200 rounds later, it locked up on us. So we pulled this guy, and then we couldn't pull it back, and we couldn't push it back. So something in there broke. That's when we decided to tear apart the gun. Like, forget warranty, it's $800 gun. I'm just gonna tear it to pieces. The manual doesn't show a breakdown, of course, it's different. Like I said, the manual is different. There isn't a manual for a Neutron Star, but technically and internally it is typically the same design and components as the Nova Star. But I noticed looking at the Nova Star, the diagram is not accurate either. If they're technically the same gun, the diagram shows some missing components in there. Okay, one of them was the spring that I mentioned to Hatsan, and they said, yep, you're right, it's not in the diagram. But after tearing it apart, there was a weak point, and I think that can be better designed. But I'm trying to order that new component. I couldn't identify what it is, or, you know, they show you a parts breakdown, but they don't tell you what those are. So all I could do was basically said, I'm not sure if it's the exact same specifications or measurement as the Nova Star, but that's the piece I need. So Hatsan was like, okay, that's part number this. And I said, okay, and that's spring too. And then they said, okay, that's that part number. Okay, but I had to give a little bit of a explanation where I think it sits or should sit. And they said, oh yeah, that's the part. So, and I was asking for more magazines, 4 more in addition, to make my testing a lot simpler. I don't want to have to empty 2 mags, then sit and fiddle, and I just want to fill up 6 magazines and run them through. Makes things easier. With that said, the safety is right here. Very easy. Okay, the trigger is nice, like I said. After little over 1 full tin of breaking in the rifle, we did adjusted the trigger. It's very nice and crisp. Like I said, it was breaking good to begin with and crisp to begin with, but after breaking period we didn't like where it is at still, so we took it to about 1 pound breaking. So the first stage was adjusted some, and then the second stage definitely we adjusted. So now it's breaking at slightly over 1 pound, like about 1.2, 1.1 pound. So I wish that the stock, the cheek riser was the same. I think they ran out of material, and then got this from a different part, and because the grain doesn't match, so we may end up refinishing the gun and making it slightly even more darker, so that way it's not so obvious, because the grain definitely sticks out on this one and it doesn't match the rest of the rifle. So we'll do that, but otherwise it is nice. The butt cheek adjusts up and down only. It doesn't go side to side, up and down only. We may end up replacing that down the road, or we may just end up turning, if we have time, maybe we'll turn it into a bullpup if we can make our own custom bullpup configuration, because it is definitely long. It is 43, I think it's about 43.5. I don't know, you can find the spec, but it's definitely a long gun. But it is very, very accurate, and it is unregulated and very, very consistent. Very happy with this gun. I mean, I could not be more happier of a gun, especially, I wasn't expecting much at $800. I was expecting $800 value. You know that saying, you buy cheap, you get cheap. Well, I think this proves it otherwise, okay? Yes, the material could have been better built, better machined, the materials used, but it's an $800 gun. And on top of that, honestly, it craps all over in power, accuracy, consistency, trigger. It shits all over high dollar rifles. One of them is the Brokaw Commander. We have a Brokaw Commander that's $2,000 plus $2,200, and that's not even including shipping. This rifle shits all over that gun. Okay, so again, once you tune this out of the box, you're not gonna get shot consistency. Okay, you have to tune it, and just with a minor tuning, and you can watch our tuning video, you can get this consistent. I mean, across a 55 shot string, you can get 68, 69, up to 70 shot without shifting your point of impact. Okay, it's dead on, okay, at about 70 shots. But at 55 shot string, the consistency is excellent, better than some regulated guns out there. I mean, it's 4 standard deviation. 4 people. Yes, you heard it right, 4. You can watch the other video on it, on a preview. You can see it. It's 4 standard deviation. But of course, I tuned it. Okay, I tuned it. I got the hammer spring tension, and it's definitely odd. So hang tight for adjustment and how to adjust it. It's definitely an odd one, but we'll show you how to do that, how to tune your Neutron Star if you're interested in it. But honestly, this gun, do I recommend it? Hell yes. Throw your money on this. It's a top performer. Just go get it. We're not promoted, by the way. We don't. So just saying, just put that out right. This is not a promotional video. We don't work or are promoted by Hatsan or any company or any dealer. Okay, we are independent. We do our own. This is why we do them, because we know that there's a lot of reviewers, 98%, 99% of reviewers, product reviewers out there are promoted. They have an agreement with either a dealer or manufacturer or both. They have some sort of incentive, so they're gonna skimp over the light things of the gun that are lacking, and they're not gonna mention them, okay? And that's consistent. I've seen it time and time again, okay? I don't trust those, okay? I take it for myself, and I'll let you know now what they say. Majority of them out there, what they say about the gun is not consistent with the actual. We do honest reviews, and that's what we're about, to keep you better informed. We buy our own guns, our own equipment. Everything is on our own. We are normal, average consumers, just like yourselves, and we inform you folks. So hopefully this channel, if there is interest in the channel, we, you know, we help others out there. But definitely this gun, like I said, go get it. I mean, $800, you can't go wrong. I mean, there is a risk. Like I said, ours broke, but we'll show you a tear down and breakdown. And Hatsan responds, but they're not as quick, but they do respond, okay? Unlike other companies out there, no response at all, okay? But they at least respond. And I have yet to mention to them, okay, I need this, and this quantities, but they haven't responded to me. It's been a week, but at least they responded to my first email indicating that they do have those pieces for sale. On their website, they don't show it, but they can make, they let me know that I could purchase them. I just need to give them quantities. So far, I gave them quantities, and I want to throw my money at them, but I don't know what's happening. So I emailed them again and let them know that, hey, I'm still waiting for a response. Can we get this moving? But anyway, great gun. It's definitely a 100-meter gun. It is accurate, very, very accurate for an $800 gun, actually. Awesome. Like I said, it contends with and shits all over the Brocock that we have, and that's a $2,000 rifle with regards to trigger, power, shot consistency, and accuracy. What could you ask for in a gun, especially $800? If it shoots well, who cares how it's really built or what material, as long as it's reliable. And I think for now it's reliable for the most part. Could it be better improved? Yes, and we are going to better improve it. We're trying to validate this gun. Is it hunt worthy? Yes, but for us, our standards are a little bit different than most. We want to make sure it's consistent, it's accurate, and there's power behind it. So at 44 foot-pounds, 43, 44 foot-pounds of energy, it wouldn't be hunt worthy where it's at right now, because we're set at 43, 44, and that's because our shot consistency is great at that level. It is very capable of 60. We took it to 60 FPE. It is very capable, but the shot-to-shot consistency suffers. The shot graph looks like this as opposed to this. You know, from the first shot to where it drops off, I mean, it's consistent. A lot of people say, oh yeah, unregulated gun, you can't, it's like this. True, for the most part. But if you tune it right, it should be pretty much like this, okay? But again, depends on some designs out there, okay? But yes, for the majority, it's a little bit of a hill, or yeah. But this gun, it's pretty much from first shot all the way down. You can see the other video if you folks don't believe me. But yes, it is definitely there. Very good gun. The only thing is the magazine. One of the magazine is loose. One of the magazine is loose. And that's this one, okay. But once the bolt is forward, or the pellet probe is locked in place, it's good. There's no problem. We shot a bunch of, like we said, we shot a little over about 700 magazine pellets through this rifle already. So definitely good on the bracing period already. But this one is nice and snug, very good. So we're ordering 4 more, and the other thing is the magazine out of the box needed some modification because the hole wasn't as round. So when you're putting a pellet through, it would mess up your skirt. It wouldn't align really good. So it just took a little bit of modification, and it was sorted easy. We'll show a picture of that, how it looked before and after. But the trigger, like I said, is awesome. It's a Quatro Trigger. The trigger breaks nice. I wish that, so right here we could reduce a little bit more weight, and we'll show you why. The bipod, so this is an adapter. It looks like it's a stock, but it's an adapter, and the reason behind that is because this is too narrow, what comes with the rifle. So until we can find a suitable replacement for this stock one, direct replacement, then we won't need this adapter, which I don't know. It's great, and it's solid. The thing is, it just adds, it's not going to be significant. It's not going to break your money, but if you're going to take this gun hunting, you definitely want to reduce as much weight as you can. So I wish that they fitted it with a better or a wider Picatinny accessory or bipod rail. But definitely needs to be replaced for our case. But it's solid. Okay, it's a solid gun. But like I said, that piece broke. It could be better designed. It's just fitment, and we tore it to pieces. We'll go through and show you folks a breakdown on another video, breakdown of this rifle, and on a separate video. Probably the next video will show you how to tune it. Our plans for this gun is that we want to get it, we want to squeeze out every ounce of its potential. So it doesn't need a regulator, definitely does not need a regulator. It does better than regulator guns, some regulator guns out there costing a lot higher, with it just the way it is now. Okay, but we're gonna put a regulator because if we bring it to closer to 60 FPE, which it can do without a regulator, it's there, but it suffers, like I said. So to get it there, we need a regulator. Okay, because we need to tame the inconsistency. And so we got a Huma regulator. We went with, we looked at Lane, we looked at Alturos, we looked at Huma, and Huma is the only one that had what we needed to get us there for this rifle. But the problem is, the thing is, the threaded male part that's on the gun side is too long, and the regulator, the female side, is too shallow. So we gotta remachine that a little bit and sort that out, and then we can fit it. But we have it already. We have a little minor hump to go over with regards to that. But again, this gun, and we're probably gonna modify this too, but this gun is definitely, one of those, hey, take my money now gun. I mean, awesome gun. This Discovery scope is fitted. It is the Discovery ED 3 to 15. I don't know if I mentioned that already. 3 to 15 first focal plane. It is basically their Discovery's one of their top line. In fact, their top line is the ED line scope. So this it doesn't come with this blue. This is not factory. We put this blue. This is a blue tape, so we can write our ranges there. Okay, but definitely a solid gun. Solid gun. I don't know reliability yet, but we shall see. So far, the impression is that I think it's a reliable gun. With one minor component that's probably the weakest link in this gun is that component. It's a wishbone looking thing. We'll probably put up a link and show you what that looks like, what we're talking about, so in case. But we'll show you in the teardown video to come with regards to this rifle, but definitely one of those rifles. So hang tight. Stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully this helped you folks out and getting you folks sorted with, you know, should we get that gun or not? Do we recommend it? Hell yes. This gun takes a definite heck yes. I mean, for sure. I mean, I can't say that for some guns, but yes, this one definitely. And that's it. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you folks have questions, concern, and other things. Let us know if this channel is good and will continue to produce videos like this. So let you folks know. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Alright, so as mentioned, the Hatsan Neutron Star does not technically have a parts breakdown, nor does it have a manual as mentioned. So, but for its intended purpose, we'll use the Nova Star and the Nova Star QE, which as mentioned is technically, for the most part, is the same design, or you know, same components and internal for the most part of it anyway, with just minor modifications here and there between the models. And again, just we can't show you the spring because the spring is missing on here that we said would also need replacing, and it's working now after we did some you know, reshaping and whatnot, but it's working now. 400 shots, total of 600 shots, but it failed about 200 shots, so 400 shots after the repair. It's been working well, so far it's holding up, but we'd like to replace that spring anyway. And also we are trying to order 3640, this component right there. 3640 is actually a two-piece mix up of a left and right side. They are independent of one another, and what holds it in place is that pin 2618. So that makes up that assembly, and these three components sits in the chassis, 3645 chassis, and where that lock pin, not lock pin, but roll pin sits or resides, that groove that it goes into, there's a little bit of slack, there's a little bit of play, so that's one portion we could improve, and we'll probably put some sort of spacer. We originally thought maybe we'll put a bigger pin, but in order to do that we gotta you know, widen the 3640 hole. We gotta drill it out bigger, but when you do that, it'll make that component weaker, and it's already weak as it is. That component has a lot of stress, because that component is responsible for holding the hammer back. Okay, and then upon engagement, and then when you pull the trigger, it drops and it lets the hammer fly, pretty much. But again, that piece is a two-part component, and what I was talking about was the left side was rubbing against. We didn't know that it was rubbing. We thought that out of the box, when we were firing our shots, we thought that, oh, maybe it just needs a little bit of breaking in. So we thought we'd break in the gun, put round after round through it, and see if it'll smoothen out. It did, but we didn't see until that component failed, and then we tore it apart. And the left side was actually, one portion of it was actually like rubbing so much against the hammer that it turned pretty much into a knife edge. It was very sharp. So we've smoothed that out so it doesn't get dangerous when we're handling it. And then we re-bent it to how it's supposed to be bent. So I think it was bent inaccurately from factory, so that's why it was rubbing against so much. And then on top of that, that's why it failed also eventually. But so far, after reshaping it and repairing, it actually lasted 400 shots later, and so it seems like it's holding up, and it's held up to it so far. So we are ordering that component along with the spring, but Hatsan, again, they lack in responsiveness. So hopefully we will eventually get our response back, because we can't order them on the website because it's not a listed part. It has to be a custom invoice that they'll do for us. But they gave us, they did respond initially with how much the component is, and what the, and the magazine through them. So we'll order a whole bunch. The other thing is they didn't respond. The rifle does come with a few O-rings and seals that come with the rifle when you order them, but we don't know what they are because they don't list them. They don't tell you where they go and what they are, but we'll figure it out. But I was asking, for an entire O-ring and seal kit for the entire gun, and so that way when we do preventive maintenance or any other seal or O-ring fails down the road, we have them. We're confident that we don't have to wait for an order, or making the rifle obsolete or whatever else, and sourcing, that sort of deal. So we'll just have them in spare. But again, we didn't get a response, so that's that. But stay tuned for more videos. But that's it that we wanted to cover, just kind of show you what it is. But as I said, the Nova Star and Nova Star QE is for the most part the same as the Neutron Star, okay, with regards to components. Okay, so that's it, and hopefully that gave you folks a better insight on what the internal mechanism is of this system and what you can do in the meantime. I'm not sure if they will release a component or a specific component breakdown like this one for the Neutron Star, but I guess this will do for now. All right.
People on YouTube, you call me a homo, but you think I stand by this? Well, that shit is a no-go. You're all coming one, because when